àwọn front ní ìgbà ọjọ́ àwọn ọmọdé. Ìgbà tó kéré sí ní àbò dúdú, wọ́n sì ti wọ́ ọ̀kẹ́. Okay. Wọ́n lẹ́yìn náà fojú lé tẹ̀lá pé public affairs sọ.
Ẹ ti gba tábìlì nọ́mbà yín. Jẹ́kẹ́ ti gba àti rẹ́dì.
Mo bèrè lọ́wọ́ pé kí àyìn mẹ́tọ̀ fún town wọ́n lẹ́yìn làwọn bá sọ. Malik. Microphone báyìí. Microphone tí wà yẹn pẹ̀lú ló wà. Kò sí kankan náà àwọn kìnìún yẹn tó ń dá microphone tó.
Most of them go on the beginning like party.
Sound transmitter. Ṣọ́ọ̀tì ní ìgbà táwọn àlejò bá lẹ̀ wọlé pé ilé ìdánwò yẹn ń ṣe kọ́mítì o. Kí bàbá mi ìmọ̀lú kọ́mítì náà ṣe ń lọ kò sí sound o. Kò sí sound.
Oye-Ekiti, our Principal Assistant Registrar, Registrar of the Council Affairs Division of the University. I'll be the anchorman of this program today again. Thank you. When the time is right, between the formal introduction of great men and women who are here today, I want to hide our chairman for now. Our chairman is a professor. He was here sometimes ago, and he's here again. Until I bring him on board, I still want to wrap his identity somewhere. But it's somebody you needed to hear from. Apart from that, our very special person today, who is going to be delivering the lecture for today, she's our mommy, an erudite scholar in the law profession. And to those of us who are female lawyers, I want to tell you, there is no limit you can go in law. So please, let all of us get ready. We'll make this very special individual known to you in no distant time. So while we wait the arrival of the university management, may I take a break as I wait for that directive from the Faculty of Law. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
I know, I tested it. That's it, never.
In nature.
Please take your seat. The Vice-Chancellor, ably represented by the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Administration, Professor Oye-Ekiti, you are very welcome, sir. The Bossa, ably represented by the Deputy Bossa, you are very welcome, sir. The University Librarian, Dr. Ogunwole, you are very welcome, sir. Having the Vice-Chancellor on the 6th, I think we might seek the approval of the Vice-Chancellor to humbly declare this program open as we undertake the agenda for the event. Thank you very much. The Vice-Chancellor, sir. Thank you very much. Carefully, only want to tell Chairman to the high table, the spirit of our person, Professor Doyin, you are very welcome, sir. Professor Awoyale, Ogunwole, at the very time, the Professor Cecilia, the Doctor of History Sciences, you are welcome to the Adeyemi. Also, fellow dean, the current dean of the Faculty of Law, Dr. Adeyemi, you are welcome to the Adeyemi. Thank you very much. Also, join me as I invite to the podium Professor the immediate past dean of the Faculty of Law, Professor Oye-Ekiti, I'll be coming to the interview. You're very welcome, sir. On the program, I will be doing the introduction for further members who will be in person. Because of the time, please let us rise as we take the oath before. Please, may I invite Mrs. Adeyemi to please take the oath before. You are welcome, ma'am. The national anthem. Please. Thank you very much. Who are now present today. Join me as I introduce to this gathering Barrister Oluronke, Managing Partner, Oluronke, Adeyemi. Join me to introduce to you the HOD, Private and Property Law, of our dear sister at the State University, Professor Doyin. Also, we are present is the subdean of the Faculty of Law of the State University, Dr. Oye-Ekiti. You are very welcome, sir. And also here is one of our very, very special guests who have been here earlier when, and that is no other person than Barrister Oluronke. You are very welcome, sir. Yes, because of our time, which we will be doing in the course of this program, yes, have the permission of the Dean of Faculty of Law to explain our very special greetings. Welcome to the lecturers from the Faculty of Law. You may not be able to take your name one after the other, but on behalf of the Dean, you are very welcome, sir. Now, the next on the agenda is the address by the acting director, acting Dean, Faculty of Law. Thank you.
for our staff. This discourse challenges us as educators and administrators. It forces us to ask, are we fostering an inclusive environment? Are we preparing our students for the modern, diverse legal landscape? This lecture provides the intellectual framework for our own institutional growth and for the university. By hosting this caliber of discourse, our university reaffirms its position as the center of thought leadership. We are demonstrating that we do not just grant degrees, we lead national conversation on justice and equity. If you agree with me, put your hands together. Thank you. To lead us in this discourse, we could not have chosen a more fitting guest speaker. Chief Oluronke Adeyemi does not merely, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, does not merely speak on this topic. She is the living evidence of this triumph. A distinguished alumna of the University of Benin, Chief Adeyemi has spent decades building a reputation for fierce advocacy and impeccable integrity. Her career reached a historic zenith when she was conferred with the rank of Senior Advocate of Nigeria, making her the first female legal practitioner to attain this prestigious rank from the Lorry branch of the NBA in over 15 years. Yes, her leadership extends beyond the courtroom. As the president of the Kwara Chamber of Commerce Industry, Mines and Agriculture, Kwasima, she has shown that a legal mind is uniquely equipped to drive economic policy, regional development. She's a mother of the bar. She's our Amazon of the Lorry bar, a champion for women's rights through Kuda. We are equally fortunate to have Professor Doyin, Awoyale, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, presiding over this session. I am aware that is a very big person, but I have to find his way to Oye-Ekiti today. We are so fortunate and lucky to have him preside over the session. A distinguished academic and practitioner, his presence underscores the essential bridge between legal theory and the hard realities of practice. We are indeed grateful to him for accepting to chair this program. I want to appreciate the planning committee of this lecture, ably chaired by Dr. Levi Pius Bolariwa. I urge every participant to listen, not just with your ears, but with an eye towards action. Just move from identifying the glass ceiling to actively dismantling them. I welcome you all to what promises to be a transformative intellectual experience. Thank you, and may we have a fruitful dedication. Thank you very much.
Yes, we can do more than that for the team. That point all of us together under this podium. Thank you very much, man. May God continue to wisdom. With the mentioning of the intellectuals here present, I think it is a great opportunity for our young learners to tap into the wealth of wisdom of these great scholars. Yes, it is the time to invite Mrs. Adeyemi Ojo for the reading of the Well, sorry, there is rearrangement of the order, which I will only plead your indulgence to welcome the Vice-Chancellor, ably represented by the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Administration, Professor Tajuddin Bolanle Okwola, to declare this gathering up.
Yes, please, we are going to have the chairman's opening remarks before the Vice-Chancellor's comments. Thank you very much.
Vice-Chancellor, ably represented by the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, the Dean of Law, my learned brother of the Inner Bar, Chief Mrs. Ronke Adeyemi, SA, the staff of the law faculty and other protocols duly observed. So you know, I'm not new to the faculty, I'm not new to the university. So asking me to chair this occasion is upcoming for me, and I see it as a rare privilege. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to this lecture series. This is the 4th edition of this lecture, as the Dean of Law identified in a speech. This lecture is very significant, and this is contemporary in nature. Lastly, is a modern trend where in a male-dominated environment, I was sharing with the guest lecturer recently. We were sitting there. I went to a law office recently, and we saw that all the staff there are male. All the lawyers there are male, and we're asking. The principal was telling us that we employ female lawyers because they will close it, and that female lawyers will be having visitors in chambers. So, in essence, this topic is very, very hot. And I tell you, the guest lecturer today, I've known her as long as I've been a lawyer. And I tell you, she's one of the people that you should emulate. And she's one of the people that I could say has broken those barriers. Because in the legal profession, very few female are really doing it. And I was telling the guest lecturer recently, all my honestly, I don't see any reason why I should have a male child. I'm telling you the truth. Professor Akupari is my uncle. He knows what I'm talking about. Those girls are. And I tell you the truth about it. I'm telling you the truth. Those girls they are wonderful. But I rarely pay school fees. They ask me to pay, I pay half because somebody will give them a scholarship. So there's no barrier. There's no barrier to whatever you are doing as a female gender. And I think this championing of this cause should not even be limited to women. Women too should champion the cause. There's no barrier. The only difference with where you are is just your appearance. And I tell people, the problem seems to be cultural also. But some people say, I want somebody to carry on my name. And I tell you, Awoyale, that is I don't know who Awoyale is. I've never met him. That was my grandfather. So now you don't even know who my father is. You don't know his name. So some of these misconceptions, you take them away. And I tell you, if you take time to listen, you gain so much from this lecture. I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Professor Awoyale, SAN. Yes, right now, let me quickly invite the Vice-Chancellor, represented by the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Administration, Professor Ogunwole, to declare. You're welcome, sir.
All protocols duly observed as we welcome our guests to this proceeding. I want to, on behalf of the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Joshua Olalekun Ogunwole, on behalf of the University Governing Council, on behalf of the University Management, staff and students of this university, declare the fourth lecture open. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. While the introductory aspect of the lecture was going on, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor designated in. Join me as I introduce to you the Deputy Vice-Chancellor designate, Professor Babatunde Afolabi. Also here present is the Director of Public Communication of the university. It's no other person than Dr. Sunday Sanu. Thank you very much. Yes, may I humbly invite Mrs. Adeyemi Ojo for the reading of the citation of the guest speaker. Thank you very much. Join your hands together as we welcome. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please permit me to stand on the already existing protocol. I want to humbly ask our guest lecturer for today to please stand. It is my honor to introduce and read the citation of our guest lecturer for today's public lecture. Chief Mrs. Oluronke Adeyemi was born in Oye-Ekiti over 5 decades ago. She attended Christ School, Oye-Ekiti, for her secondary education. At the University of Benin City, where she studied law, graduating in 1992 with a Bachelor of Laws degree. She was at the Nigerian Law School, Victoria Highland, Lagos, in the year 1992-93 session, from where she was called to the bar as a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria on the 15th of December 1993. She later obtained a master's degree in Industrial and Labor Relations, MILR, from the University of Ilorin in 2015. Upon completion of her NYC program at the law firm of Oyemi Oloyede and Co. at Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos, Ronke was retained as a junior counsel in the chamber, and from there she developed an interest in private legal practice. By reason of marriage, in July 1995, she relocated to Ilorin, where she worked with Akintoye and Co. to acquire deeper understanding of the intricacies of legal practice. In January 1998, she started her own law firm, Oluronke, Adeyemi and Co., which has grown and thrived to become one of the leading law firms in Kwara State today. Oluronke, a notary public, is a very active member of several professional and Christian bodies, where she has held various leadership positions, which includes the Nigerian Bar Association, Ilorin branch, International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, FIDA, Christian Lawyers Fellowship of Nigeria, which is popularly known as Class 4, Kwara State branch, Amnesty International, Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, UK, Christ School at Oye-Ekiti Alumni Association, National Legal Advisor, National Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industries, Mines and Agriculture, NASIMA, Girls Brigade of Nigeria. She is the immediate past president of the Kwara Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, KWASIMA, and the first female to attain that position in the over 50 years of the existence of the chamber. Please, I want you to do that very well. Yeah. Very cool. In addition to being the principal partner of Oluronke, Adeyemi and Co., Oluronke is also a director of many organizations. She is passionate about the defense of vulnerable women and children. I can testify to that. And has used her legal profession to effectively promote, preserve, protect, and enhance the rights of these groups of people over the years. She is a seasoned public speaker and has also delivered papers, written articles, participated in several radio and television programs, and public discussions on gender-sensitive issues like wife battery, obnoxious widowhood practices, girl-child education, female genital mutilation, women empowerment, women in agri, women in conflict with the law, child abuse, and so on and so forth. In recognition and appreciation of her contribution to the upliftment of vulnerable people in the society, Chief Oluronke Adeyemi was honored as the Yeye Mofi of Egosi Kingdom in November 2022. As the Otun Iyalaje of Osi in 2023. And the Iya Ege of Okiaba also in 2023. She is a lawyer and was elevated as a senior advocate of Nigeria in 2024. She is also the first female in Kwara State to be so elevated. She is also an entrepreneur and a farmer. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Chief Mrs. Oluronke Adeyemi FUOYE. She will give us a lecture. You are welcome, ma'am. Let me start by acknowledging the presence of the Vice-Chancellor. Let me start by acknowledging the presence of the Vice-Chancellor and the chairman of this occasion also, Professor Awoyale, and other distinguished members of the high table,
students, ladies and gentlemen. I was telling you, I think yesterday or the day before that recently about a very, very bad cold, and I was speaking for a long time. It's still a challenge. That I will just speak to my paper, and luckily it has been printed, and I'm sure it will be distributed to you so that you can read all the details. But I will try and cover the ground. So I'm carrying around a bottle of water because my throat still gets dry from the medications I'm taking. The glass ceiling and gavel strikes shattering systemic bias in the modern legal profession. The glass ceiling is real. Some people will wonder that what is a glass ceiling? Imagine this ceiling being made of glass. It means it can be broken. You can go beyond the glass. When we talk about the glass ceiling, we are talking of the invisible barrier that is limiting people because of their gender, maybe because of where they come from, or the children of who they are. There are things that just normally limit you by virtue of that. That you are not the son or daughter of a prominent person, or because you are a female, or because you are from Ekiti State. We have lived with these things for such a very long time. And unfortunately, the builders, the creators of many glass ceilings are even women themselves. And you would think that for a woman to have passed through such things when they were younger, they will be more willing to remove it for the younger ones that are coming. But this has not been our experience. So this raises many questions. That why? Why are people not allowed to grow? Why are things limiting us? The lived experience of too many of our profession fits perfectly into the situation of the non-equity council. If two people are employed in a law firm, if two people graduate at the same time, just there are males than there are females now in this faculty. When you graduate, in in 2 years, more of the men will have jobs than the women. Like the chairman rightly stated, a lot of people will tell you, no, I don't take in women. They will, they will be, if they are young, men will be coming to look for them, and then shortly after they will get married, and then they will get pregnant, and they will be taking permission to be absent because they are sick. Then they will have the babies, and today is immunization, tomorrow is this, and on and on and on. And these are the roles that God has created for us. There's nothing we can do about it. We are not the people who made ourselves like that. And so in my office, for instance, in our office, at least in Ilorin, even in Abuja, we have made it a point of duty that any female that comes to look for a job, no matter the situation, as long as she's qualified, we are going to employ her. Because if we don't employ you, who will employ them? I know what I went through as a young lawyer, and that's why I appreciate my bosses up to this moment. That they took the risk, so to say, of employing a female. When I got to learning, lawyers will be at work from like 8 a.m., probably go to court at 9. They'll come back to the office, and then they'll go home at 2 o'clock. And then they will return at 6. And I got married, I went to learning. And it wasn't convenient. The husband will complain, you have a home to run. How can you go back to work at 6? Then when are you going to come back? And so I persuaded my boss that, okay, I will not go home at 2 o'clock. Let me do my own and finish at 5. And so eventually the office even changed the procedure that everybody comes to work, we work till 5 and we close. So that there's no issue of going home, go and sleep, go and rest. The men go home to eat. The women use the opportunity to run to the market, pick children from school, go and cook and all of that. While the men will just go and put up their legs on the stool I'll be expecting food,
Uh,
and they'll be expecting the women to bring us food. So this has been the experience of women generally. And as stated in the paper, there are about 1,000, maybe 1,050 senior advocates ever appointed in Nigeria since 1975, both living and dead. Out of these 1,000 senior advocates, there are only 40 women in the whole of Nigeria. And it's not because the women are not good, but because of this glass ceiling that we are talking about. Right from childhood, if you have male and female children, you will notice that the girls are the ones who will be calling to come and stay with you in the kitchen. And you're a woman, you should know how to cook, you should know how to keep a home. And the boys will be roaming around playing football, chatting with their friends, watching film. And that is where the discrimination starts from. And for those of us who have suffered this, we have said our children will be raised equally. The boys must know how to cook. The boys must know how to put on the generator. Because you don't know what life is for each person. You don't know where you're going to end up. Look, I've seen somebody who went for NYSC. A man, he did not know how to cook rice. He did not know that they will pick beans before they cook it. They will just put it on the side of the water and they put fire like that. It's because he never cooked at home. So it is important that we raise our children equally. Lastly, with the profession. In my field, the legal profession, it is a very good example of the existence of the glass ceiling. As a lawyer fresh from law school, you have many options that are open to you. Very many options. When I'm opportune to be in the midst of students like this, I think of the various options that are open to us, and I still thank God for the one I've chosen. You can choose to remain a private practitioner. That is, lawyers who go to court, to take on cases and all that. The peak of which is that you become a senior advocate. You can go into the public service and become a permanent secretary, either in the federal or the local or the state service. You can go to the bench and become not only a justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, but the Chief Justice of Nigeria. You can also go into the academics and become not only a professor, you can even become a Vice-Chancellor. The Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ilorin today is a lawyer and a senior advocate, Professor Oye-Ekiti. You can be in the corporate world and become an executive or board chairman of a company. You can be board chairman. You can also go into politics. You can become a governor, you can become a minister, you can even become the president. So there are many routes to the top when you take on the legal profession. The important thing is that shall get to the top. Whichever way you choose, aim for the top. Right from the beginning. If you want to be in the academics, know that the top is to be a professor or a vice-chancellor. And you should put that ahead of you and be working to what does it take to become a professor? What does it take? Journey. Unfortunately, despite all these options and routes to the top, it's been very difficult and challenging for women. There are approximately 1,000 people who ever appointed as senior advocate, as I said, and there are barely 40 women. Out of the 23 chief justices that Nigeria has produced, we've only had 2 women. The current one is the second out of 23. Women are occupying less than 5% of the top positions in the legal profession. In all of these ones that I've stated, women are occupying less than 5% of the positions. So I want you to see that as rather as an opportunity that you are going to go to the top because there's a lot of space there, especially for women. Being a senior advocate is a mark of distinction when you come to service. The relevance of the rank has not diminished in over 50 years. So, despite this already advancement, or this steady advancement in the sector, the development and the advancement of women to the top has been extremely slow. Not for lack of good quality women, but because an invisible glass ceiling has been placed above us, and I will give practical examples. Like I said, right from childhood, the limitation starts. Because some people say from the womb, they will say the pregnancy of a boy should be, if you are carrying a boy, you feel different from if you are carrying a girl. I have never carried a boy, so I don't know what it is like. I've only carried girls. And I thank God that God has made the girls to turn out well. So this pattern and expectations from teenage years. When you go to school, most of you are in primary or secondary school, and then in the morning your mother will say, Mary, when you come back, this is what your siblings will eat. This is what you should do. Meanwhile, for John, nobody gives you any error. When you come from school, he's free to run about. You can read his books if you want to, or the lesson teacher will come and take him. For the females, they will have something extra to do in the house. On and on till they graduate from school. Then by the sheer dint of hard work, she secures a job. Let's say the girl secures a job, which she leaves soon after. When ladies get married, like stated by the person who read my citation, you will leave your job. I was a lawyer in Lagos, and I was very comfortable in the place I was working. And my husband was working in the law. I had to leave my job. And that is how women live there. I didn't mean that he's a lawyer. He would have been growing in his place of work. Why I had to leave my own to come and join him. No matter how good your job is, people will expect that it's the woman that will leave her job. And I said, this is very wrong. If anybody wants to marry my daughter and she's in good employment, it's either you go and look for a job for her where you want to relocate her to. Or you let her be where she is. Because if she leaves her job, let's say she leaves a baby and leaves a very good job to follow you to probably Calabar or wherever. As soon as she gets there, because her mother and father are praying very, very hard, she gets pregnant in 3 months. And nobody employs a pregnant woman. Some women are even too sick to look for employment. I have a friend that when she gets pregnant today, for the next 5 months, she cannot get it. So she won't get a job. Then she will be at the mercy of the man. And the man will be doling out money to her every morning when he's going to work. And the man will be growing steadily in his career. There will be counting years from that. He's been in employment for 4 years. And for the woman is 0 because she's going to start all over again. So that is the life of a woman. And that is what we are trying to come against. Then the kids arrive. More work for the woman. Sleepless nights. More time off work. She's the one who doesn't sleep. Even she herself will be telling herself, and whoever is with her, exactly that is so. Let the father of the baby sleep because he has to go to work tomorrow. And she will remain at home taking care of the baby. And then maybe when she thinks of a job, the husband will say, the baby is this small, you need to stay at home a little longer. Meanwhile, the man has now clocked 5 years on the job. The woman has not even started. So how will a woman become a senior advocate? The man has had 5, 6 years head start before you. He's been on the job longer than you. In all of this, she's still expected to contribute her own financial quota to the family and grow in her career. The female senior advocates have a platform where we discuss issues affecting women. One of the things that are affecting women is that it takes a longer time for a woman to become a senior advocate. And that why it takes longer is that you cannot become a senior advocate of Oye-Ekiti. You will become a senior advocate of Nigeria. So you are expected to have done cases in several parts of the nation. There's no way you will not go to Abuja. The Supreme Court is only one, and it's in Abuja. And if you must have 4 judgments. The 4 judgments may take you 10 years. Going and coming and going and coming. So if you have a difficult husband, it's going to be very difficult. When you want to travel, maybe 2 weeks to the time, you start looking for his good mood so that you'll be able to tell him that you are traveling. Meanwhile, a man can just come home from work and start packing. Where are you going? I'm traveling tomorrow. He's not going to ask for your permission. He's not going to ask for your opinion. What he does. But for a woman, you'll be scheming. How would I tell him? Is he in the right mood? Is this and that? And so, for many years, women cannot become senior advocates because you cannot do all that is needed to attain the man. Before you start thinking about it, the last of your babies will be out of secondary school. The very last one. Meanwhile, a man can start thinking and planning towards once he's 10. Once he's 10 years at the back, he can start planning towards his and applying. Then it's very difficult for a woman to apply to be a senior advocate on the dot of 10 years. How will she do it? Where will she get all the cases from? So these are the things that are limiting us. So when the male lawyer goes to the office early in the morning and returns late at night, set up meetings with clients, goes to court and reads law reports to return home to one meal. Just go out and come in, and the food is on the table, the fan is on, or the AC or whatever. The woman runs out of the office, runs to the market, buys tomato and pepper, and goes to client, and then run home to go and cook. Because of that, we say, I cannot eat the food made by the house girl, and I cannot eat food from the freezer. I've had a lot of allegations against women, and one of the current ones is that she'll be giving me meals she has left in the freezer for 4 days. My father used to eat fresh vegetables, and you want to be married to a successful woman. You can't have both. There's no way she can be cooking vegetables every day. Where will she get the time? So while the woman is struggling to maintain the home and take care of the children, to look good and still grow in her career, the male lawyer can go from Lagos to Calabar and Owerri to Akure. In a lot of high-profile cases, you see that they are only males. All these political cases, defending the other, and all of that, you hardly see women. You know what they go through when they are doing those cases. First, maybe you have a matter in Lagos. Because of the time limitations for such a case, you have to stay there. It's not a place where you can go and come back home. So sometimes you need to stay a week or two. How many young women can leave their home for 2 weeks and say, I'm going with Dr. Professor Awoyale to Bauchi, and we are going to be there for 2 weeks? The way the man with the husband will even look at you, you will even have the house to say, you are going with Dr. maybe with Professor Awoyale. What's the meaning of that one? Meanwhile, he is free to go with the same Professor Awoyale if he wants to, if he's a lawyer. And nobody will raise an eyebrow. How many women are in leadership that another woman can follow? You can only follow women. And when you are following somebody on and on, you don't know them. And they're always together. The other one will say, they are. Don't say it's me that told you. So, not only would the woman not want her integrity to be destroyed, even the man. So, even the good men will move aside for you because they don't want their names in the mud. They don't want whispers and gossips. The government strike is a ceremonial action used primarily in legal and formal settings to command attention, signify authority, and mark the beginning or end of proceedings. The gavel is a small ceremonial ornament, the type that they use in the House of Assembly, that they strike to end open door conversations. So within the context of our topic today, gathering strikes represent the decisive authoritative actions we need to take as a body and individuals to ensure that we shatter the systemic bias operating as glass ceilings in the modern legal profession. So we all need to carry gathers to strike that glass ceiling and break it. The question then is, what was the ceiling in place? What's holding that glass? What's keeping it there? If only a determinant of glass ceiling restricts individual career, opportunity, and progression at a certain stage. What is the individual determinant? The first is the one that affects you or you can determine by yourself. Maybe you are not the son or daughter of a prominent person, or you are from Awoyale, or you are female. These are things that are not within your country. You are not the one who created yourself to be a native of Iworoko. And there's something you can, that's not your native place, there's something you can do about it. So it is that's one of the individual determinants. There are organizational determinants. That is barriers that occur in an institution when it comes to the advancement of career. The institutions may set up barriers that will not allow you to move forward. They may say if you are absent from work more than 3 times in a month, you will not get promotion. Meanwhile, you have a small baby, or you are still within the childbearing age. You have to go for antenatal. There is no way you will not be absent from work for more than 3 times in a year. So when promotion comes, they overlook you. You are not qualified. These are part of the things that they put in place. And then when you have a small baby, probably you have 3 months leave. After 3 months, there's nobody to take care of the baby. Meanwhile, your place of work has nowhere to keep babies. So maybe you end up asking for 2-3 months leave without pay. And to be counted against you. Then there is the systemic determinant. Oftentimes, bias seeps in the process of evaluation and advancement. Performance reviews laden with subjective language. They say she's aggressive, and the bad thing is assertive, is a cultural fit, and she's not a team player. These are systemic determinants. Noteworthy is the fact that this system isn't just unfair to individuals, it harms the profession and the very concept of justice. How can we be architects of a just society when our house is structurally unsound? Lawyers are supposed to fight for the rights of every other person. But if you cannot fight for your own rights, who is going to fight for you? You are busy fighting for other people. So we lose talent, we lose perspective, we deliver poorer counsel to diverse clients, and then we undermine public trust. So acknowledgement of this problem is not enough. That we have agreed that these problems exist is not enough. What are we going to do about them? What can we do? The first is that as an individual, we are consciously imbibing and developing personal attitudes which better suits you for leadership roles in the workplace. You must develop confidence, integrity. The biggest thing a lawyer must have is to have integrity. It can take you so far. When you start, people will be looking at you like you are a fool. You have refused to steal a client's money. You have refused to compromise. You have refused to do this and that. But just continue. Even if the people you are doing for don't acknowledge it, it's on record and you are building a reputation. So a lawyer must have a very, very clean and good reputation. I left school 1993. I was taught to balance. Look at me, 30 years ago. The time flies away so fast. So if you don't build your reputation on a daily basis, that's how the time will catch up with you. And one day you will look back and you discover that you are 50 years old, or you are 60 years old, and you'll be wondering where did all the time go to. You also must embrace mentoring and sponsorship. They invest in self-development, acquire relevant certificates that will take you Stop scrolling to watch Facebook alone. Are there anything there that can benefit you? Study AI. You know, that's the future. You need to know it. These are the things that you must imbibe as an individual. Then, as an organization, you must create transparent, data-driven position. These days, thanks to COVID, people can work from home. We had two coppers in the office once. Usually coppers take a day off. Maybe they'll say they are going for CDS. All the other coppers, when they go, maybe they finish that CDS by 1 o'clock. That's all, they go home. These ones will come back to the office and they will stay until we close at 5. Today, the two of them are doing extremely well and I'm not surprised because it is whatever you plan for yourself that will gain. You are not doing it for anybody, you are doing it for yourself. So the office can create a platform where your being absent will not count against you. If you have a small baby, they should allow you maybe 2 days out of 5 days off work, that you work from home. These things should be put in place to definitely assist women. Then call to action. Your role in the demolition crew. Demolition crew is the crew that are going to demolish the glass ceiling. So your role is that this is not a task for a committee. It is a task for every single person in this room. To the leaders and power holders, you have the ABS gathering. Use it. Audit your practices. Risk your social capital to sponsor someone who doesn't look like you. Stop discriminating against people. When people apply to our office, I don't ask them where they are from. Once you show me a copy of your certificate and I see that you are qualified, doesn't matter to us. We have 4 partners in our office. One is from Ekiti, I am from Ekiti. My sister here is from Edo. There's another person from Ogun State, and the 4th person is from Osun. So we are from different places. Stop thinking that you cannot associate with people because they are not from your place. You will not go far. You will not go far if you only associate with people that are like you. You have to associate with people. When you want to become a senior advocate, you have to give them the names and addresses of 6 lawyers that both of you have appeared against each other in court. So if you are not against or not together, against each other in court, then they will write to them to give a report of your character. Because when you are a senior advocate, you must not only be fit in learning, you must be fit in character. So they will ask them, those are people that you have shouted against in court, you have probably even abused. They are the ones who will give a report about you. In addition to the judges of the locality where you are. To the allies, speak up. Amplify magnified voices in meetings. Challenge biased language. My brother said I'm his brother's silk. Anytime anybody goes me as a brother's silk, I stand up to say, no, I'm not a man. I'm your sister's silk. And that is the way we should be addressed. This idea there is no women at the back. That wasn't the old thing. There are women. The women in our lives. We are now at the back. And we must recognize that people are at the back. We are sisters seeds. Nobody should call us, but I'm not a male. At least up to this woman. So to be honest, speak up. Learn to speak up, especially as females. Don't let them overrun you. No matter how many people. I've gone to meetings where I was alone and then I was facing 8 people, 6 people, 5 people. And they'll say, no matter who is there, I will say my own. Learn to speak up respectfully but put across your own points. To those facing the ceiling, your voice is essential. Document your work and contributions. Seek out sponsors, not just mentors. Build coalitions with others. And know that your struggle is not a sign of inadequacy. but of the systems. Position yourself well by self and personality and talent. Advance yourself. You know, no matter even if you are the son or daughter of a CDM, you cannot go far if you are not qualified. There are criteria. If CDM alone cannot appoint you to do anything, the Vice-Chancellor cannot say, this is a very beautiful lady. Let's make her a professor. It's not possible. This is my wife here, my brother's wife. She didn't become a professor because she's pretty. She became a professor because she's qualified. So you need to be qualified. Nobody, nobody is going to take you serious if you are not qualified. You have to qualify. In conclusion, we're in the business of argument on precedents and obliging cases. Let us now deal the most important case of our careers, the case for a legal profession that is not just equitable, meritocratic, and just, but one that you, as young aspiring lawyers, can confidently fit in the nearest future. The glass ceiling is a verdict rendered by an outdated system. It is time to appeal. It is time to overrun the precedent. We have the evidence, we have the moral imperative. Now we must have the courage to raise the caveat and strike. So let's get to work. Thank you very much.
As we maintain the standing ovation, we must continue to jam our hands together and to take our seats. So really decides Chief Mrs. Oluronke Adeyemi decides our applause. To all of us who are here, I bet you we are going to learn good thing. And of course, we have indeed won. Please, let's continue. Let's continue. Thank you very much. Yes, election is not just executing, but I bet you, it will shape creating. Creating the awareness, movements to communities where lawyers' expectation in the practice of law and the role of their prospective husband. I know to live a very few are female, you must have learned a lot from this very speech. And to those of us who are counterpart more as well, this lecture provides a platform for you to learn another thing in the course of your study. On the topic, shattering systematic bias in the modern legal profession. I'm sure you have your dirty notes, your notes, and the other writing materials. We know this lesson will be of great advantage to all of you. Thank you very much. Right now, let me humbly invite the chairman of this occasion, Professor Ogunwole, Awoyale, the first two questions, comments, questions, and reactions from the speaker. Thank you very much, sir.
I've just listened to, I will call her my learned brother of the silk. Because if I say my learned brother of the silk, it suggests that we are equals, regardless of our gender. So to me, I will say address her as my learned brother of the silk. The lecture has been so educating. And if you check, I put two major points: mentoring and integrity. You see, mentoring is so crucial in the legal profession. Now you cannot go far without mentoring. And I tell you, I recall when I was interviewed as a senior advocate. During the interview, they asked me, "Why do you want to be a senior advocate?" I said, "It's a call to leadership." He said, "Oh, he has answered your question. Please take a bow and leave." So, if you want to reach the top, you have to mentor people. You also have to have a mentor. If I was some of you, some of the secrets we had when we were growing up like you, and she's going now, some of you should just take her number so that she can mentor you. It's so crucial. We had that privilege when we were growing up as a young lawyer. I recall in Ilorin in those days, And we met people like Professor Yusuf Ali said. And in fact, tomorrow, if I get to Ilorin today, after taking a meal, the first place I visit is his chambers. Because I know that there's something new I'm going to learn from him. I also have people, last week, I met her with one of our elders in the profession. As I was leaving his chambers, I saw my learned brother going in there. What are we doing? We are trying to learn from the people that have gone before us. So you ought to have a mentor that will mentor you in the legal profession. Also, the place of integrity. Let me tell you, nobody will brief you if you have no integrity. And as a matter of fact, in my chambers, there's no signboard there. I've never had a signboard. I've never had to meet anybody and say, oh, I'm a lawyer, give me a book. You know, the Yorubas say you're a babalawo, and you know your onions very well. Who need a signboard? There's no signboard in my chambers. Who see one? But most times people ask, where is the law firm? And let me also tell you, how will somebody come to your chambers because of your signboard? They will come to your chambers most times because of the referral that people are giving them. I've done cases for high-profile cases that I don't even know the parties. One day I was coming from a place and a witness is here, I can testify. Somebody just called. I am the deputy governor of so state. My governor said that I should call you, that you need our team in a matter tomorrow in Abuja. Now I was thinking maybe these people are for one MP. That was like, God moves. So if you have no integrity, you are going nowhere. So please, other professions may not bank on integrity. Let me tell you, once you stole the client's money, it's already registered. And you also know that some of lawyers say, oh, let me collect money and give a judge. I always tell people, if you want me to know judge, you are giving a wrong lawyer because I won't approach any judge on your behalf. So make sure that you have an impeccable integrity. That's what will help you. And let me tell you, the journey starts now. A lot of people don't know the journey of excellence in the legal profession starts now. Let me also tell you, I didn't do privilege. I don't have a principal. I learned practice of law informally from people like Chibayodu, SAN, Professor Isupadi, SAN, Professor Roland Otaru, SAN. Those are the people we're learning from. And I tell you, up to now, my wife will tell you that if my husband is on a phone call for 5 minutes, he's talking to us, he's talking to his mother, or he's talking to his fellow colleagues. Yesterday, I was on a phone call for over 2 hours with a senior advocate. And guess what? As I was taking that call, I had my daughter. I was writing the authorities he was telling me, even though it was an informal discussion. That is what will help you to grow. Because you see, formal training in the legal profession has a limit. It has a limit. Our team, when we were at the university in those days, Dr. Oluwole of blessed memory, said the life of law is not measured by logic or by experience. I think I'll pause here for now. We'll take 3 questions. We're going to take 3 questions from you. We'll take one here, and the other there. We'll take 3 questions. We already have the questions. I think our profession is a peculiar one. If you are studying law, you should be bold enough to come out and ask the questions before us. Don't write it on a sheet of paper. Come out. If you are the one who has written this, I'm not going to read it unless you come out. Raise up your hand and identify you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, faculty. Thank you for coming. Sure. So my question, I don't know if your situation for about the law.
So my question is, as imagine the good professionals, law students, how can we, what are the steps to tackle gender bias in the care? Thank you very much. Like Daniel said, journey starts now. Not only for the sake of integrity or excellence. So as a law student, you can see what constitutes a class. You have seen the roles they play. So it means from now on, the first thing is that you stop looking down. Yes, they are your equals if you are classmates. They are your equals. And when eventually you become lawyers and you are working in the same place, don't underrate them. Don't think, after all, she's a woman. If you and any other person are struggling to get a seat in the office, don't assume you will get it because you're a man. You will get it because you have more merit. If that's the case. And if you know that the lady has more merit, consider the position to her. And when you set up your own law firm, please remove everything that can be impediments to the women. A woman, you don't employ a woman, or you cannot work with a woman, and all of that, or she cannot bring her baby to work, or there's no crèche. There should be a place very, very close to you where people can keep their babies. So as law students, start preaching to people around you, to your mothers. My father and my parents have 8 of us. There were 2 boys and 6 girls. I was the 6th girl. My mother said when she had me, nobody came to visit her in the hospital. How long are we going to continue in such situation? You see a woman has a baby, even in the church. When they want to announce that somebody has a baby, but you see duplication, when they announce that the person has a girl, you just bear it. The person delivers successfully. And girls will take care of parents even much more than boys. Much more than boys, many times. Whether a boy will take care of the parents will depend on his wife. If your wife will not give you the chance, it's going to be very difficult. And we have seen men that cannot take care of their parents. There is their wife that is pushing them. So educate everybody around you. When you see people that are behaving in a way that is detrimental to women, please speak up. Tell them it is not right.
Any other question?
Thank you very much, Ron, for such an insightful lecture. So my question is, how can where is Fale Deborah 300 level for students? So I want to ask what sort of discrimination, indirect discrimination, the young lawyers often overlook? It happens, but we kind of overlook it. What are they? Indirectly towards, or we tend to overlook it. And the women themselves overlook it. The men and the women, both young lawyers. Like there are some discriminations that happen in law firms and offices that we tend to overlook, probably because they are trying to teach us we should calm down, they're not using us, this stuff like that. It's also important that women should not be living on the edge, that they will assume that everything that happens is because of the lady. Don't use that phrase. Don't assume that it's because you're a lady and this has happened. Whatever you go through as a young lawyer, the male lawyers are also going through, even some of them, worse things. Maybe you come late to work and you have no valid explanation, and your boss is questioning you, and now as because I'm there. No, you came late to work or you were absent. There's no way your boss will not say anything. It's not because you're a female. So don't expect him to just leave it just because you are female. And when they treat you based on your gender, don't think you cannot overcome it. Prove yourself to be above the situation. If, for instance, your boss complains that mm, your office is dirty, for instance, don't assume that it's because he's a hard person. Look around you and take care of the place. Do your work diligently so that when these discriminations come, you will be able to overcome it with merit. People will say, the girl is very hardworking and she has integrity. So that this will be testimony concerning you. All kinds of things happen to women. For instance, sexual harassment. I was telling the guest lecturers that you shouldn't even go there. What women used to go through in those days, and people will feel, in fact, you can't even tell anybody. But they won't believe. Very highly respected lecturer, I mean, senior advocates, senior lawyers, judges, that when they need to go, want to be touching you inappropriately and all of that, you can't even tell anybody. But even your own mother, not believe. So these are some of the situations that we encounter as lawyers. People look at us and feel she's just there for me to take. If you want a promotion in this office, I have to sleep with you. These are some of the things that young ladies go through. But thank God that we are now having senior female lawyers that you can approach and talk to them. And because they are female now, go through it, they will tell you the best thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma, for the lecture. I'm Rania Uchipo, a 200 level law student. So my question is more like a suggestion. So quite recently, feminism has been very active and stands to pull down the structures that promote patriarchy and masculinity. Now, these things are perpetuated by men, as we say, and we see it. So my question is, why isn't there an organization like FIDA where male lawyers are sensitized on the detriments of these biases on the female lawyers, so we can better ourselves, comp the bias, and also break the glass that exists? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Part of the things that I believe we are doing now are these kind of lectures. Today we are talking to people who have not even become lawyers at all, so that you begin to learn, so that when situations come, you are ready for them. All these things slip up on you before you know it, you are there. And yes, FIDA also does a lot of sensitization, public lectures, radio programs, television programs, all kinds of things to sensitize not only the men, but also even the women. Like I said, women too are perpetuating these things against fellow women. When a woman's husband dies, who goes to shave her head? It's a fellow woman. So we are trying to speak to people. People matter. People's minds are not hardened yet. Who can listen and who can listen? Thank you.
One more question.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the very insightful lecture, ma'am. So I've been following the lecture since, and we've been talking basically on the systematic bias against women in legal profession. So in the spirit of balance, and for us men, not to feel completely left out, I want to ask, are there no forms of systematic bias against men in the legal profession?
Next question.
Thank you very much for that insightful. So my question is that there are situations where we hear stories about that before a woman can attain a very high position in her career, she has to subject herself to some sexual advances. Now, I want to ask your take on how do women prevent or how do we avoid these situations like this and what to do? Thank you.
Need to draw the curtain at this point. The question before this one, but recently, there's an agency in Lagos, Sexual Violence Something Agency. They discovered recently that even men are also sexually abused, and they are more in number. But you know that discussion is not for today. But if I will conclude this way, violence, gender violence is not a one-way traffic, it's not a one-way thing. It's for both parties. I know people that even the wives, they will pour hot water on them, and some of them even died as a client. So this message has to be balanced. This message has to be balanced. Issue of gender violence, issue of discrimination and barrier is not only applicable to women, it's also applicable to men. And but see why we are focusing more on women is because that is more prevalent now. There was a time, I won't mention the name of the judge. I went to court with a junior colleague, a lady, and it was a criminal case, a case of armed robbery and murder. And the judge was looking at my colleague all through the proceedings. Unfortunately for the judge, he did not remember to write guilty or not guilty. He didn't write it because he was concentrating on my colleague. And this particular girl, each time we go to court, judges should say I should see them in chambers. So I understood what they wanted to do. So each time they say, see me in chambers, I'll go there alone. And they ask me, oh, what about your colleague? I said, oh, but my colleague is in the car. He said, I should see, not my colleague. So we are also leaders in the profession. We also have a role to play in protecting you. I was telling the guest lecturer the other time, in my chambers, like she said, answer one of the questions. Certain things happen. Don't say it's because you're a woman. Some of those things are even in place to protect you. For instance, in my chambers, as I came here now, none of my female lawyers can follow me to any place where we sleep next day. Can't. Because I don't want a situation where I have to be explaining. Because you know, if a female colleague keeps following me to a case in Calabar, I just came back from Calabar a few days ago. What impression will people have about me? Some of those measures are in place for somebody like me to safeguard you and myself that is your employer. And let me tell you, it's not as bad as you are thinking. If you go to law firms like Alex, they have a crèche where you put your babies. So when you need to breastfeed your child, you go there and breastfeed your child and continue your work. That's what we have discovered, even as we are seated here now. Discovered that 75% of the students here are girls. That's what you can see. As when she was leaving the lecture, I took a sample and I see apparently that 75% of the people here are ladies. So we owe you a duty to protect you. And you need to rise beyond those limitations and challenges. Don't look at them. As a matter of fact, even as a man, if you look at your challenges, you can't get anywhere. I was telling someone that I did PhD at Nambia School University, Oka, Anambra. That means I had to drive from Lagos to Oka almost every Thursday. So if you keep looking at your barrier, your challenges, you can't get anywhere. So I will encourage you to look beyond whatever barrier that you are finding yourself in.
Okay. Next question, somebody asked that overcoming challenges. Early in my career, I was barely 2 years at the bar when I got married. And I'm a typical Ekiti woman. And I relocated to Kwara. And of course, the men were coming, all kinds of the least expected of men. People that you will think, daddy, you know. They will not do daddy with you. So I made up my mind early that I will never give in to anybody. Because when you give in to one person, you are gone. The other person will come. So I will set standards for myself. One, I don't stay out late. I don't want no appointments of come and see me in the evening or anything. And when you put me in charge of anything, I do it as it suits me. For instance, when I was chairperson of FIDA Inquiry, FIDA had the tendency of going to senior lawyers to solicit for support. And I said, I'm going to be chairperson for 3 years, and I'm not going to go to anybody to ask for money. Because when you go to ask them for money in the afternoon, lawyer, please, okay, come back at 7. Come back at 7. It will never happen to me. So I started using my brain on how to raise money to run the association. Instead of relaxing and feeling senior lawyers will dash me. I don't expect anything from anybody. It happens to you most of the time because you are also looking for things. I believe I must work and get whatever I need. And if I work hard, I will get it. So I don't go looking for favors. Despite all of that, no matter what you do, they will still ask you. People that are far older, your age mates, even people that are younger, and you feel like, are you okay? I've had a man tell me before that, it's better to relationship with an older woman, that they are sweeter. So you're going to hear all sorts of things. Let them know where you stand. With time, small by small, inch by inch, they will know you. Once you ask me to come and have a relationship with you, I will say no. If you ask me a second time, my face will change. If you ask me a third time, I will abuse you. So they know that I should abuse you. Not only will I abuse you, I will tell people around you, I will spread the news and disgrace you. Because I've told you I'm not interested. Yeah, that's why the first time I only said no. Politely. I have the right to ask. I have the right to refuse. So please refuse. Don't let there's nothing you can't do by yourself. Nothing. But you don't have to sleep with anybody. I didn't sleep with anybody. You know how many people will you sleep with? How many? To be a senior advocate, you need 20 high court cases, judgments from high court cases. You will sleep with 20 high court judges. Then you go to court of appeal and sleep with at least 4 members of the panel. Because you must have five judgments. Then you go to the Supreme Court and sleep with them too. Meanwhile, the court of appeal and the high court, there are panels of 3 or 5 or 7, depending on the type of case. So you can't sleep with one. I think you have to sleep with all of them. So don't influence that. You can't go. How will you do this? You are not so so if you don't have the sense of integrity and that work, how will you go? If you want everything to you free, you can't have anything. You can't have anything. Thank you, man. My name is Omoshola Temitayo Ogutoyibi, and also from Ekiti. So I've often heard people say that our Ekiti walking, Omakawe Lasan walking, which means that most Ekiti people they just speak, they don't like really that's like that. which case? My second question is, when we look at the sources, often overlook how you got there. What were your failures? What are your most challenging moments? And how did you get back?
Thank you very much. So my question is, I was conducting a research and I thought that women are more likely to get partner relationship. Women are more likely to endorse gender-based violence than men. So it's very shocking when I got that. So I want to ask that, what can the law do with this? Because it seems more like a very systemic thing. How can the law help?
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Shomowale Anora Kendi, and my question is, a lot of people think domestic issues like domestic abuse are private affairs. The law should not interfere. What's your perspective on that, ma'am? A lot of people think domestic issues like domestic violence are private affairs. And the law should not intervene. What's their position on that, ma'am?
So I will start with you. Domestic violence happens in the home. It happens with people that you know. It's not that you are going on the street and the man hits you. Maybe the husband or the father or something. That's why people call it domestic violence. It happens in the home. But it's against the law. So if you kill your child, even if you are the one that gave birth to the child, or you injured the child, you are disciplining him, you will still face the law. There are laws against them. But the problem is people now come and tell you, he's the father of your children, you send him to prison. If you send him to prison now, what will not become for you? And you begin to put all kinds of pressure. So, but that does not mean the law is not there. If you see some people, we have seen women that we went to rescue them. The woman's husband hit her with a car. The boy left home in the morning, the woman took the children to school. When she was coming out of school, the man was going somewhere and saw the woman and hit her with a car, ran away. And people were saying, we thank God that she did not die. Did that with the man to police station. And within a week, the woman was saying, it's my husband. I get me that people want to chase me out of my husband's house. So sometimes it's the victims themselves. Somebody told me about a female lawyer that her male husband was abusive. She knows her right. And I said, I will never put my mouth there. When she's tired of the problem, she will speak. When she's tired, she was in hospital. The man beats the living the rest out of her. I said, now you are tired. Talk. So sometimes it's the victims themselves, not the society of people. Then your own question is, okay, that is the women themselves that enforce gender-based violence. Yes, like I said, there are laws that can fight these things. But the women should not be bound to they should not be bound to pressure. A lot of these are lawlessness that we face in a society generally because we get along with it. In the so-called several societies, a woman went from here to the Americas or somewhere to go and take care of a small baby. And you know other women, they must feed things. They will do it and they will feed. And the baby started as the adult. The mama was sent to prison. If it's in Nigeria, say, mama, she could have. Yes, I also believe that it was not deliberate. But then you have broken the law, you have killed the baby. You have to face the consequences. So let people face the consequences of their action. Stop allowing yourself to be the challenges. There have been challenges. The greatest of which is not having children on time. It was a big challenge. I waited 8 years. Because in those 8 years, I saw it as an opportunity to quickly learn. Instead of we see women wake up and be crying and all that. I just told myself, when the baby comes, maybe we spend money, let me be taking money. And not only learned more laws, I was better in my job. And I could offer myself to travel, to do this for the office because I had no babies that were keeping. So you are going to have challenges, and you can turn them into stepping stones if you want. It's all up to you. You may not have a baby on time, stay and cry every day and refusing to eat. On the other hand, you can say, this is an opportunity. You can go to a baby that today, you can go to by the tomorrow. There are babies that are waiting to go. So it depends on how you look at their challenges. And then again, there's the challenge of sexual violence, sexual discrimination, and all of that. But like I said, I made up my mind from the one who never succumb to anything. If I think that I'm not even married and I want you, it will not be because you are my sister, because you are my mother. I will do it because I like you. I'm in love with you, not because you force me. So that's the way I was able to overcome it. And I never expected any favor from it.
Let's give you your award before you. We know that you have tried. May we rise, please. Let us rise. Mama, you will sit down. I want to appreciate Mama in the different way. Let me demonstrate it. Hold together. Let's have our seat. Without wasting too much time, the comments on this lecture, on Mama's presentation, I want to believe that we all have it. Mama, it has been a pleasurable delivered lecture. May the Almighty God continue to be with you. We have enjoyed your presentation. We have learned not one, not two, not three. I want to believe that nobody is leaving this place the same way I've entered. On behalf of the university, once again, we appreciate you. We look forward to more of your presentations. Let us do it.
I want to specially thank the chairman of this program, Professor Doyin Awoyale, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. We appreciate you so much, sir, for finding time to be with us here today. And we do not take that for granted. Thank you for your support all the time. Let us appreciate you once again. Thank you very, very much, sir. We humbly invite you for your award, sir. Thank you.
Sir. Professor Doyin Awoyale San, in graceful recognition of your distinguished and invaluable contribution as the chairman of the 4th Faculty of Law Public Lecture, Federal University, Oye-Ekiti. We give you this award.
It's also a gift from the faculty. Prof, please come. You can't go yet. There is a package for you here. On behalf of the faculty, we want the activity to please present to you.
On behalf of Faculty of Law, we present you this token. Well, thank you very much.
I know there is a gift from the university. Can you bring that for me? So Akitayo will present the gift from the university. Thanks, ma'am. On behalf of Federal University, Oye-Ekiti, we present this gift as a token of our love. Thank you so much, staff, for coming. Now, thank you, Prof. We wish you safe journey back to Lagos. God's protection upon you always. In Jesus' name, we are so grateful. Now, presentation of award to the guest lecturer. I also invite the active VC to do the presentation on behalf of the faculty.
Mama, okay. On behalf of Faculty of Law and the Federal University of Oye-Ekiti, and in recognition of your thought-provoking presentation, we present you this.
There's also a gift box to be presented to the guest speaker by the activist on behalf of the faculty.
On behalf of Faculty of Law, the Dean, the professors there, and the distinguished lecturers there, the university as a whole, we present you this token, Mama.
A gift from the university with the permission of the activist. Who should? You should do the presentation, or you want? Okay, the Mr. Waji representing the university bossa will help us to do the presentation on behalf of the university.
On behalf of the university, Vice-Chancellor, this is an opportunity to present this gift.
Thank you very much, the active VC and the president of NAWAC's FUOYE chapter. It is time to take just 3 goodwill messages from our people. Then I want to quickly call on the university librarian to give us the goodwill message. Briefly, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Faculty of Law and the university in general, we want to appreciate our guest speaker for the wonderful lecture you have delivered this afternoon. We are very, very appreciative of that. And on behalf of the university, I want to appreciate the chairman, Nasesia, for the wonderful job he did. We appreciate him deeply. And I want to appreciate everybody who has come to witness this 4th lecture, Faculty of Law lecture. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for coming. Thank you for gracing this occasion. The university in general appreciate your coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I also want to call the president of NAWAC's FUOYE chapter and the Dean of Faculty of Physical Science, Professor Cecilia Akitayo, for a goodwill message. Mr. Vice-Chancellor, sir, every represented by my boss, the other management team, our chairman is an essential, and my Iyako, our guest speaker, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you greetings from Faculty of Physical Sciences, and then from NAWAS, the National Association of Women in Academics. Well, I really want to appreciate the guest speaker today,
for this beautiful lecture. Thank you very much. And I know as my Yaupo, I'm going to get Owoye and Oye-Ekiti today. So thank you so much, Mark, for coming. So ladies, I think we really need to talk to ourselves. The era of breaking the glass ceiling, we assume that we are moving gradually away from that now. It is after breaking that glass ceiling, what you have to do is to establish your presence, because you have to help others to break further barriers. And this is 2026. We have, our speaker said, we have like 400 female stars now. Let them mentor you. 40. People run. Like 10 years ago, it might be just that we have one or two. Now we have people that are closer to us. My sister is in Ilorin, Kwara State. And just like the chairman said, collect a number, let her mentor you. When you are going for internship, go to a, what do you call it, chamber first. So please, go there, let her mentor you. You know, we really have to break further barriers for people that are coming. And for me, you are just so privileged to have people. Your dean is a female. You can always walk up to her to discuss issues with her. So you are very, very lucky. Then even after, for we that were even female scientists or professors, we have what we do call glass cliff, whereby you are in that position for them to see that maybe you will fail. So that integrity is very, very important. It's something that you just have to be part of it. But integrity should be number one. So wherever you are, wherever you want to get to, just go, just make sure you are going with your integrity. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Now, as president, I want to also quickly call Professor Afamban from Ekiti State University to give his goodwill message. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much, my dean, and the Vice-Chancellor here represented to stand on the existing protocol. I thought I would just come in here, sit down, and then live quietly. I did not know I would be invited. So talking from experience, and I did right from the beginning that discriminatory practices are real, especially for women that are in the profession, and I want to say that even goes beyond the profession. And then she also went ahead to tell us what she did to ensure that those barriers were dismantled. And one of them that she said was that individual determination is key. And she has also told us. And I believe that just like the chairman has said, students, if it helps from you, when she's leaving, please try as much as possible to get her phone number so that you will also be in touch. I also want to say, ma'am, that aside from this, even I think the thing you also said something, ma'am. You said that when after these barriers have been dismantled, what do we do? You see, when in our profession we discover that the situation, those discriminatory practices against women are no longer as it used to be. When you look at Akinobi and Akinobi cases, where they say the woman was considered as a chattel, he shared among the family members if the husband goes. But when you also look at Ukeje and Ukeje, when women have also gone to the Supreme Court and they are also decision makers, you know that some of these things are no longer there. So please, that when you come up, please not just dismantling them, take position where you can also ensure that others do not suffer from what you have passed through. And the guest speaker had also said this. He said, she said that mentorship is necessary. And so please, you need to be mentored. She said that as in the academic, you can just rise up to be a professor. Am I right? And then after that, to be a vice-chancellor. I'm coming, I want to join you to be a son. Unfortunately for me, she is on our class mentorship of bench and bar. She to be my classmate, and so she's on that mentorship bench and bar. I'm coming so that you will mentor me to be a son. I want to come up to you there. I don't just want to end up being a vice-chancellor. Once again, it was a wonderful lecture, and I don't regret coming here. And I want to also say I bring greetings from Faculty of Law. My dean, Faculty of Law, and congratulations. God bless you.
Just hold on a bit. There is a gift for you from the university, and I want to humbly invite the acting VP to present to you.
And now we mentor you. On behalf of the university, we present you this for your participation and contribution. Love people. You are welcome.
I want to humbly invite Mrs. Gloria Okodua. There is a gift for you from the university. The active VC will present to you. Thank you.
Ogunwole, you are welcome. On behalf of Faculty of Law, the Deputy Dean, heads of department, professors, staff, and students of this university, who present you this. Finding it worthy. Thank you.
Last but not the least, I want to invite Barrister Benga Okeowo for his own gift also from the university. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Our distinguished barrister, on behalf of the university, we present you this.
So thank you very, very much. I will invite the chairman of the organizing committee for the vote of
Thank you. Thank you so much. So after that, sure. That's just in every program, not only to introduction, but also meeting the balance that we made in the profession. By working, I appreciate you. That's listening to my expectation. Thank you. Chairman of Education, and I hope Professor Awoyale Essential, and I as president, very good presence. I want to thank you. And also, we need to really appreciate the chief host. That is our own Vice-Chancellor, able represented by our Baba. He is also double as the friend of the faculty. That is Professor Adeyemi. We put your hands together for our Vice-Chancellor. Also, I must thank every member of the table, particularly my mom, who is represented the theme of history, science, and that is Professor Mrs. Stefania. We want to appreciate you. I come to this end, I can't write my history without actually making a mission to her. She has been very, very good. She's a good mother to me. Also, my dean, so I have to go back to our own. One was my enjoy as a God. Also, yes, the past was not 45 success. I thank you to seniors as well as the colleagues in the faculty support this success. And also, I must not forget that teachers together with us, and we will treat wonderful well. I want to thank you, Dr. Adeyemi, for the I want to thank you, Ms. Akinlewa. And also, I want to thank you. So, I want to success. They are perfect destinations. I'm there. It's going to be the future where it's returning to play with me. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Let's go. Yes, you can do more than that for the chairman organizing committee. We made this program possible. Thank you very much, sir. Shall we please rise to take the closing? Let me just invite Mr. Abdul Rahim Barak to please take the closing prayer. Thank you. Yes, shall we take the national anthem, fourth stanza? Right. We are actually waiting for the DJ to do justice to that. Yes, you can please proceed to FUOYE, first stanza. Yes, please take your feet and allow the distance to take the seat. Please maintain your seat. Then I take the other. Okay, please, second one. The Vice-Chancellor, ably represented by the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Administration, so Tajudeen Ogunwole. Then all other important dignitaries. Who's the drive outside? Ma, is that outside? Uma. Yes.